My flow's clean, I can be drunk and spit out sober. When I walk, my chain swing get harder than Balboa. Niggas bust on sight, see nines and breathe fast. Come to bitches, got more dimes than Steve Nash. People surround your ass before we even started shooting. Had you running around in biggest circles in Marcus Houston. Your girl like a computer. Wanna know I tell you how, take it out, turn her on, I use it and shut it down. Girl got a virus, cause she sexing more than dogs. And I ain't talking about Pokemon when I say she catch them all. And what up? I can tell that you ain't been here very often, cause you don't have at attention like a military sergeant. The mother lanes watching, but they not so real. They're just a waste of time and my clock don't spill. Word to my music, I'm a freak like my partner. If your candy was a planet, I can make your star burst. Trap me in the place with no route.
New Boyz, a hip-hop duo formed in 2008, Hesperia, California, featuring Earl Benjay Benjamin and Dominic Legacy Thomas. We live in a world today where everything is pretty much connected to the internet in some way. From cell phones to your personal computers, new age televisions, even a business requires a website and social media presence to reach their potential of ultimate success. The internet was a great creation and it helped so many people change their life for the better. One of the biggest platforms entertainers found helpful was YouTube, a video sharing platform founded in 2005 and by the beginning of the 2010s was already booming. I always view YouTube like this when taken back to that era. Whether you were genius or just lucky, if you were on YouTube around 2008 to 2010, you caught the boom at the perfect time, where many didn't understand the possibilities of it monetarily or popularity-wise, so you caught the wave of listeners or viewers who weren't, I'd say, personally invested in the platform, so lending you a view or two or binge-watching your content, leading to subscribing wasn't a second thought. If you liked it, you followed it all the way. Now that everyone has some sort of channel and doing those same things to push another channel feels like competition. I say all that to say, New Boyz came at the exact perfect time to lead the youthful charge in hip-hop on the internet, being in position to have major success and blow up right under everyone's noses. Not to mention, when they came in with many things being binged watched on the internet and YouTube at the time, which was, obviously, they presented themselves as the new, youthful thing to be a part of, fully equipped with bright colors and pubescent voices. But most importantly, they were coming in with a new style and a new dance move as well. Both they weren't necessarily the creators of, but as far as making it popular, New Boyz did that. Yes, Lil Wayne could be seen from time to time in 2007 wearing skinny jeans, and his influence may no question be a part of it. But New Boyz took it and plastered it all over the walls of hip-hop that this was the new wave. Those baggy jeans were cool, but skinnies is where it's at. Then they had a dance to go with it, another element blowing up in hip-hop since the mid-2000s. Any song with a hot dance was gaining traction, and the jerk was the hottest move in 2009-2010. And lastly, they took all that and made a catchy hit song produced by Legacy himself, rounding off everything they brought to the hip-hop table of influence that catapulted them to the top and having their influence carry on even to this day. Yet they never get the credit for said influence, and I believe for these 3 reasons. Let's talk about it. Salute to Cinemax10 for this request. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. New Boyz, Benjay, and Legacy met each other at Hesperia High School as freshmen, and long story short, eventually decided to get together as a group and combine their love for music. They began as the Swagger Boys before changing to New Boyz, as swag was the it word at the time and they wanted to be different. After purchasing their own music equipment and learning how to produce their own beats, they opened a MySpace page to promote their new song You're a Jerk spring 2009, and it took off by summer that year, attracting the Asylum/Warner Brothers label, who signed them soon after. They became the face of the skinny jean era, as well as the result of going super viral. Stunt number 1, them breaking up after 4 years. With a fad group like New Boyz, I think you have to start near the end and work your way around when discussing what happened to them, because that's where one thing led to another, and here we are. What I mean is, for the first 2 years, New Boyz were hot. They were originally seen as one-hit wonders when they released You're a Jerk Spring 2009 that flew up the charts and peaked 24th on the Billboard 100. New Boyz were everywhere at the time, and they had the personality to fit the promotion as well as two young kids into affordable fashion and dancing. Not hard to sell, especially when those two were at the age of that representation and understood what the internet wanted naturally. Coming fresh off the end of the ringtone era, they transitioned perfectly into the dance era, where it seemed once a year a song would blow up because of its dance move. But then a second song released August of 2009 by New Boyz, and to many surprise, it was another hit, peaking this time at 22 on the top 100, perfect going into the end of summer/fall. The song was Tie Me Down featuring Ray J, right in the middle of Ray J having his peak after the Kim K sex tape and his VH1 hit reality show For the Love of Ray J after its first season. So really, the song caught two waves in different markets at the same time and combusted into a second hit, propelling the New Boyz past one-hit status. Their first album released with 2 platinum singles and eventually went gold. By 2013, they had went through so much being in a group, from the ups of being on top of the game to the downs of Ben J resenting Legacy for allowing his girlfriend, singer Tinashe, to begin adding her input to how he should run his career, mainly encouraging him to go solo. He'd stop coming around as often and even pretended to be sick so he didn't have to do shows as a group, and further push him as a solo artist. In 2013, Ben J released a statement confirming they were each going solo, and from there, they disappeared from the scene. Stunt number 2 started making super pop songs. After establishing what ultimately happened to New Boyz, let's talk about why, because success always leads to groups staying together long enough to milk it for whatever it's worth. One important piece of New Boyz history is them beginning to go too far pop in search of another hit that they lost their sound, and it didn't bring them hits or longevity anyway. Legacy already admitted to wanting to move away from the dance craze that made them popular on their first album, wanting this album to sound a bit more grown and past the youthful vibe of being a jerk that knows it and antagonizes the situation, asking her to call him that one more time. On album 2, Too Cool to Care, the character changed to now I've completely moved on to ignoring you because I'm in a space I don't need your ego boost. It's time to get this money and go my own way. In doing that, New Boyz began releasing pop club songs, also a new fad at the time, as they could cross over to other markets if done right. But New Boyz, in my opinion, didn't have what it took to do it right, in that their lyrics weren't really clever or sonically appealing, and their songs didn't do much to help their efforts. Ones like Break My Bank, Backseat, and Better with the Lights Off, although the latter two did go platinum in sales and not popularity. With 3 singles in, 2 of them platinum, their second album couldn't reach the same success even with the crossover, more grown approach. In my opinion, that was a mistake. They could have milked the more youthful approach for a bit longer before they attempted to sell us they were now grown, while visually they still looked like any second a jerk contest could break out. Going pop slowed their steam and they never got it back. Stunt number 3, the right ingredients. The way I see it is, to be a star in an industry like music, you have to have certain ingredients. Timing, a certain look that matches what's hot at the moment or naturally attractive in any era, great marketing, of course money behind your music, and did I say talent yet? Oh, because if we're being honest here, that was a huge issue with New Boyz. No one cared enough to hate on New Boyz, so let's get that out the way. Do you make good music or not? And New Boyz to me were hit or miss, mostly miss after You're a Jerk and Tie Me Down. lyrically both didn't have what it took to save their careers after the fad or hot streak of being the new it thing wore off. Benjay's lyrics were as amateur as they came, where without a catchy hook, dance, or fad, there's no way he would have blown up as a solo artist. But he did have the swag, so to speak, of the group and personality, and that helped. Legacy said some cool things from time to time, but for the most part, his rhymes were basic as well. Even on the crossover songs, they were just like, eh. But with Legacy, he had the look the girls wanted at the time, and all that came together to make success, but short-lived because the talent wasn't there to make new, older fans that cared about content. They weren't lyrically the best, and their music had little to no meaning at all. I mean, you look better with the lights off? Damn. I Wanna Get You in the Back Seat? New Boyz had ingenuity, timing, and the right fad to run behind, but after that wore off, they just didn't have the other ingredients that leads to longevity. All in all, New Boyz did have influence, and that can't be missed when telling their story. For what they had, they made something of themselves to where people in 2023 still ask about what happened to them. They were fun for as long as it lasted, but for these reasons, their growth was stunted. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.